Now we are done. And actually, let's go up here and also comment this out because this section is also no longer required. So now let's first run the script in a terminal window, which will run continuously until we manually stop it or if there is an error. We also want to make sure that this works. So I'm going to go to a terminal window and want to make sure that we're under that path, which is essentially downloads, training, NAUP, and NAUP lowercase. So that is the path that we are currently at. I can do a file listing that will show all the files that we've been working with so far. So here I'm going to run Python. I do Python 3.6, and we're going to run the advanced script. Okay, perfect. So now the application is running. There's no errors, and it tells us that it is listening on any IP address, and this is the port number. Therefore, with that script running, let's confirm that we can access the web interface of our application. So we'll minimize this, go to a web browser, okay, and then here we will go ahead and put in the IP address of our computer. I can also do local host. So I can do local host and the port number of 8888. And perfect. So that is the interface of our web application. So here you will see the device name that we can put in, which is a text field. Then you will see the operation that it can be view, configuration, or backup. And we have a text field for the command. For the results section, that will be here, but since there is no results, that is empty because that condition has not been met. Now, with that running, let's see if our network automation using NORNIR still works. So let's keep this simple. Let's say that we want to look at the core switch. So I'll say CS01, and I want to view something. And let's go ahead and view the routing table, and let's say submit. So while that's happening, we can also go to here, and some of those results should show up here on the console itself. And there it is. Right there reflects our routing table on the core switch. So our application is working through our web application. Therefore, let's go ahead and using the application, let's go ahead and configure access switch number 1. And this will be a very simple configuration. It's going to be the trunk interface. It's going to be configuring this interface right here and assigning that to VLAN 100. And once again, all that was already defined in the host file for our access switch 01 with the correct IP and its details. Not much, but this is the main sections that we care about, VLANs and the interfaces. And therefore, let's go back to our web application. And for the name, we're going to say AS01, and we want to configure. We want to push that full configuration to that device. So let's do that and say submit. And that has completed. So we get the results in this format that the base config was applied, VLANs was applied, switch was applied, and interfaces was applied. As you can tell, OSPF was not on that list because that is not a section in that host file. And this is simply what the results are, looking at the console, of what the configuration was that was applied. So now we look at the access switch directly, which we can technically just go to here. So now I can say access switch 01, and let's actually do a backup of that. So I can go ahead, say backup, and say submit. That has been completed. So now if we go back to our folder here, there's a configuration for access switch, and this will reflect that config. So we see part of our base configuration there. There is the switch configuration there. We see our interface configured for the trunk interface, and this is the interface assigned to port number 2, which has a user computer or endpoint that is connected. And of course, there is no OSPF that is configured on there. So far, so good.